Howdy folks, and welcome to Noob BBQ. You know, for years I've loved eating barbecue, but now I've wanted to learn how to cook it. And I'm calling this Noob BBQ because I've never done it before. So I thought I would take you along with the journey, and perhaps if somebody out there is also thinking about learning how to barbecue, you can learn from my mistakes, because I promise you I will make some. So, thanks to my mother-in-law who bought me this used Weber Smoky Mountain Grill, we're gonna learn how to barbecue together. So we found this on Craigslist and got it for a pretty good price. It's a little rusty and the grates need to be replaced, as you can see, and those are on the way. But for now, this is a good way to get started. So we're starting off with what's called the minion method. If you take a look, I've got lump charcoal in there, and I've created a divot in the middle where we're gonna light some charcoals and then pour them in. We're also using hickory wood for the smoking. And Brinkley approves. Now that I got the coals going, I filled up the water pan about 2/3 full. And that does two things. One, it helps regulate the temperature. And two, the steam from the water will help keep the cooking chamber moist so your food doesn't dry out as fast. Now we're still gonna spritz the ribs because we don't want them to dry out at all, but the water pan should help. Because we bought the ribs already trimmed, there's not a lot we're gonna have to do to it. There is like a little piece of flap here that I am probably gonna go ahead and trim off just so it doesn't burn up in the cook. And the other thing I'm gonna attempt to do, and I've been a little nervous about this, is try and pull off this membrane, or silver skin. Now, I've been told the best thing to do is grab a but as you can see, it's not exactly easy to get this thing off. There it goes. There it goes. All right. Well, we got most of it. And some people don't even bother taking that off, but I don't want to bite through the membrane once the ribs are done and we're eating. So I'm going to try and get the rest of that off, and I'm going to trim this little piece, and then we're going to add our rub, with the salt and the pepper and the paprika and the chili pepper. So once that's done, we'll take it out to the grill, throw it on. Hopefully once the temperature levels out, I'm shooting for about 250 to 275. So once we get there, we're going to throw these puppies on the grill and just let them do their thing.
Not you, puppy. Okay.
So the smoker is at about 250 now, and it's been holding that for the last 15 minutes, so I think it's time to put them on. But let me show you how I got to the temperature. You always want to cook with the top vent open. This stays open the entire time. You adjust the temperature based off the bottom vents. And if you can see down here, I've got it open about the width of a pencil length. So I've got all three vents going at about that. I've got all three vents on the bottom open at about that width. I've got the top vent wide open, and we've got the smoker at about 250, and hopefully we're going to cook between that and 275 for the rest of the time. Right now, as you can see, I've got the rub put on and hopefully evenly applied across it all. And I think you can also see I've cut the ribs in half. Now I've done that for two reasons. First off, the grate on the grill is rusted out. So we're gonna be using this rib rack, and cutting it in half will help me manage the rib rack easier as opposed to having the whole ribs placed on there. The other reason I've done that is because my wife prefers her ribs dry rubbed only with no sauce. And I'm gonna try sauce on the other half. So we're gonna do a little experiment. Half are gonna be dry rub, half are gonna be with the sauce, and we're gonna see how they turn out at the end. So those are the reasons I cut it in half, and I think it's time to get these bad boys on the grill. So we're getting our rib rack placed in, and now it's time to place the ribs. Try and separate them a little bit, but as you can see, we've got a lot of good smoke coming through here. So let's get these things cooking and we'll see where we go from there. We'll check in about 2 hours, see where we are, and then start spritzing from that point on. After about 2 hours, I think I'm going to spritz about every 45 minutes just to keep them moist. All right, we're 2 hours into the cook, and we're about to get our first look at the ribs. But real quick, I want to explain, I'm not going to wrap these ribs. I mentioned earlier we're looking for a dry rib on part of them and sauce on the other, but if we wrap them, I don't want to baste the ribs. I want to keep them smoking the whole time. So we are going to spritz though, and I'm spritzing with a mixture of apple juice, apple cider vinegar, and water. So, and I'm doing that just to keep the ribs moist while we cook them. So this is our first look at them, 2 hours in, and oh my God, those look beautiful, don't they? You can see they're getting a nice bark built up from the rub, and I don't want to lose that bark by wrapping them. So let's get a quick spritz on here. And again, I'm doing this just to maintain moisture. I don't want to dry the ribs out. But they are looking good, and if you look, we're even starting to get some pullback on the bones. That means they're cooking, and they are looking beautiful. And the smoker, by the way, has been doing great, maintaining it between 250 to 275, so I'm very happy with that. I'm going to start spritzing these about every 45 minutes, so we'll check back in later. All right, we're 3 hours in now. I'm going to spritz and apply the first layer of barbecue sauce to the other ribs. Oh, those look good. Okay, so here we go. We're going to apply the sauce to this rack, I think. All right, here we go.
What are we doing?
We are putting on a layer of sauce. And this is just a test. I mean, we're keeping the one dry, and we're doing the moist sauce on the other one, and it's really just to kind of see which we prefer. But if you look, in fact, I think these almost are done. The bones are twisting a little bit. There's some cracking in the bark. These are just about done. I am going to let them go another hour at least, just to see. But oh my God, it looks good. It smells good. Folks, this is going to be delicious. Alrighty, it was about 4 hour cook, just under actually, more like 345, 350, but close enough. We're going to call it 4 hours. So these are the two. These are the dry rub, and look at that cracking. That's a good sign that it's done. The ribs have pulled back from the bone. And here's the wet one. Oh, look how bendy and moist it is. All right, let us cut one of these ribs so we can take a look at the inside and see how it was cooked. Oh, look at that. That's a nice smoke ring on there. We got a lot of meat. It looks good. Take a look at the dry rub. Again, look at the smoke ring on here. It's really moist. Oh, that looks delicious. We're gonna let this rest for about 10-15 minutes or so, and then we're digging in and eating these bad boys. Thank you so much for following the journey with me. If you had any comments of what I could do better next time, please leave them. Let me know, and I'll let you know the next time I cook. Have a good day.
Brinkley, you want to try a piece? Daddy made it. Oh, I think he's got a winner.